Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Gauntlet League match. Today is match number 22. We are progressing through the league quickly here and having mixed bags of success over the course of a couple of runs here. But for those of you that don't know what's going on, you can check the top of the description for a link to a video that will explain everything about the Arena Gauntlet League, my week 0 introduction, and then you can also check the last 21 videos on the channel to get caught up to where we are right now with the deck that you see on your screen that we will be running here in match number 22. A little bit of a red-black aggro deck, lots of 2-drops, some ones, some removal. We've got, Barrage, Winter, Remorse, a Shivan Dragon at the top, some card draw. We've also got Darkstar Augur in here. It's kind of a interesting deck that has feasted or famined, to say the absolute least. So, it's match number 22. Let's see if we can't get it done with this one here. As we head into today's match, here is where we currently stand in 15th place with a record of 14-7. There were 121 members that started this league. There have been 73 eliminated, and there are now 48 remaining. We've still got 3 more losses to give, and we're fighting our way back. We're on a 2-game losing streak here, so that is certainly hurting us a little bit. Also, I didn't mention in the intro, my voice is like completely gone. I'm doing the best I can here for you. Hopefully you can still understand me, but I may not be talking as much during the match for that reason. We'll have to see. But 48 players remaining. We are 15th among them, and we are working our way to try to fight toward the top again. Like I said, 2-game losing streak. Got to get back on the winning train here. Let's see if we can do it. Today's match will be against SpaghettiMitch, and I think this is actually our first elimination match this league here in Magic Foundations League. Might be our second, I'm not exactly sure, but this might be our first elimination match. SpaghettiMitch has a record of 11-10, and for those of you that have forgotten, 11 losses is what eliminates you from this league. We've still got 3 to give, 4 before we're eliminated. SpaghettiMitch can't lose another one. They've got to go basically 9-0 from here to the end of the league. They're in 46th place playing a Sultai deck. So they've got a lot on the line. They have the maximum size pool you're allowed to have at this point in the league with 10 losses, which means they got a lot of rares and potentially a real good deck. So we got our work cut out for us today. Enjoy today's match. All right, here we are in today's match with an interesting keeper mall. Obviously, if we get a red in our top 2 cards, it's pretty good. If we don't, we could just keep drawing red cards. It's kind of a risk here. SpaghettiMitch says, "Hello, YouTube." They've made it. Gosh, this is obviously a risk. But gosh, if we play turn 2 Brazen Collector, turn 3 Perforating Artist after attacking with First Strike, that's going to be pretty good. It's obviously a bit of a risk here. Could pay off. Might not. You never know. It's at the very least a card we can play. So with SpaghettiMitch having watched all of our videos, they are acutely aware of our deck here. So, that's fine. That's part of the disadvantage of letting all the league members watch my videos, but it's all right. I don't mind it as much. I don't think I can take that trade necessarily. All right, there's the full Sultai. And did it for the Gutless Plunderer here. Okay, we need some red. Not what I meant. Not at all what I meant. Okay, go ahead. So, like I said, we could just draw all red cards and be in a world of hurt, which is kind of where we are right now. That was among the worst we could have drawn. It's a double red card. I mean, gosh, can I even afford to just continually take this over and over? I mean, I guess I'll just offer this trade here. There's not really much else I've got going on. Tiny Bones gonna start eating at my hand. Huh. Well, I mean, I guess I have to kill something, right? It's just the Tiny Bones is gonna start stealing my hand here, and I can't do anything about it, so I think I probably need to do this. An attack, and poof. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So far in this match, it has not worked. Looking in the graveyard here. Okay, so gonna go ahead and kill the Blood Witch and play a Llanowar Elves. At least we don't have a ton of like pressure on us here, but I mean, we're not doing anything else, so. The Eldest Reborn. Yeah, pretty good. I have to discard a card, and then they get to steal a creature from a graveyard here. Yeah, go ahead. Can't do anything else. And unfortunately, they get to steal a creature from a graveyard. I want to discard the Strongbox Raider. I don't really want them to steal that, though. Well, the good news is they wouldn't get the raid trigger. So I guess we'll do this. And this is just the case of a game that we took a risk in an opening hand that hasn't paid off, unfortunately. Oh, God. Yeah, can't do anything about that. Okay, there's a red, I guess. Alright, I guess I'll play a First Striker. And then hold up Stab to potentially deal with the Indrik here. Let's see. Tiny Bones might be coming back. They might also take the Hungry Ghoul. There's a lot of things good options they have here. My guess is it's the Hungry Ghoul. Nope, Tiny Bones coming on back, sure. So we're so behind here that I have to start taking some risks. And I think blocking Indrik plus Stab is a risk I have to take, unless it just dies. I mean, if they've got a fight spell, I just can't really do anything about it. Okay, so we did effectively take it here. Unfortunately, the Collector doesn't have attacks into the Burglar. Krenko, so good, but not right now. 5/4 Death Touch, you say? Well, you hate having to play your raid creatures on defense, but here we are. And now Tiny Bones has the ability to potentially steal a Krenko at some point, which is like not good. So I need exactly a Mountain, which would invalidate Tiny Bones for the rest of the game, and also let me cast Krenko here. If they attack with the Warplow, I think I have to block with the Artist here. Doesn't feel great doing it, but, I mean, I do get to trade. Give me a Mountain. Come on. Thank you. It's not a Goblin, is it? No, Raccoon Rogue. Alright, no removal. They haven't seemed to have it for a while here, so if they have it, they probably would have top-decked it, so let's see. Yep, looks like they got it. I think that was probably a top deck, which just feels horrible. But, what can we do about it? Not much. Does it get a counter? Yeah, of course it gets a counter. So does that. Alright, well, you know, Spaghetti, you can comment on this video when you watch it when it does come out. Was the Outmuscle a top deck, or did you have it for a while there? I guess, I mean, you didn't want to fight the Artist. You probably You might have had it in hand for a while, so. This is a lethal attack here. That's got Death Touch. I mean, I go to 1. That doesn't seem like a great plan. What if I did like this? I go to 4, and I dead next turn either way. Yeah, sure. Don't really have anything else to be doing here. Sure. And there's a land to end it. So just an unfortunate keep to start, which was not great. Their deck, I mean, I didn't really get to see the power. Eldest Reborn is obviously good. Goring Warplow, Affectionate Indrik, Outmuscle. Flyers seem okay. Reptilian Recruiter. Did we see some things we would want to steal here? Llanowar Elves, Tiny Bones. Tiny Bones wouldn't be a good steal, though. Plunderer. Plunderer's fine to steal. Gorehorn Raider. Powerstone Fracture. I didn't really see what I felt like I needed to see to bring that in necessarily. The Strongbox Raiders, are they good here? They're probably good against like Indrik and Warplow and Outmuscle, things like that. So they're actually not too bad. I think running it back is probably okay. Would love to see one of these Sear Slicer Goblins. It's been a while. We're on a 2-match losing streak here, and we haven't seen these in 2 matches. Maybe that's correlated. All right, let's just hope we can draw a red early enough to be able to play to the board and not have to take 2 or 3 turns off there. That's really what got us, obviously. And Krenko getting removed also wasn't the greatest of things. But, you know, Krenko, I would say, more than 80% of the time gets removed. So it's just a matter of, can we catch them without removal in their hand when Krenko resolves? But yeah, it's been a brutal couple matches here. Now we got an uphill fight to get this match win. Play first. Yeah, that's what I consider to be a good hand. So we'll keep it. Shivan Dragon's a little out of place here, but you know, maybe it'll be the finishing touch we need. Hopefully no 1-drop. Okay, good. No 1-drop. So now we could just be free to play our creatures here. A bit of an awkward situation next turn if they play a creature. Okay, no creature, so I don't have to Frenzied Goblin anything. Where is Sear Slicer Goblin when you need it? Rex Sage. Probably not destroying your own creature. Didn't think so. I'll play the Gourmand, make the Rex Sage unable to block here. This is the kind of start that our deck is capable of. And we haven't really seen from our deck in quite a few matches here. All right, so we can't target that anymore, but the question is, does it matter? I mean, if I sacrifice the 9 Lives Familiar, let's say they trade here, they take 1, 2, 3, 4 points of damage, go down to 5. I draw an extra card. I probably want to keep the Frenzied Goblin around. Maybe not, though. They would still trade. So, like, let's just do this. Target that, decline, sack the familiar. And then they'll probably trade with the goblin. No, with the ghoul. Okay, that's fine. Put them to 5. Play the land. End the turn. Bring it back. And next turn we have dragon if we draw a land. And if not, they have to play a 2-drop or a 3-drop and equip boots so that the goblin doesn't kill it or let us attack past it here. So this is the kind of start we were really hoping for, and we haven't seen out of this deck in quite a few matches. All right, so we did get the win. What else could potentially be good here? I mean, the Gorehorn Raider is actually seeming pretty good against like Rexage and other potentially smaller derpy creatures. So maybe that over like a Strongbox Raider. Because if it's smaller derpy creatures, this is just going to trade off. Granted, it did, like I said, it did work against like that Goreplow and the Indrik and stuff, but so would the Gorehorn Raider in that case. This could also just be a 2-for-1. Everything else I think seems okay. Ginger Brute. No, we just saw a Rexage. I don't really want to be bringing in more artifacts. We don't actually have any artifacts or enchantments here, so that Rexage isn't going to do much more than be a 2-1. Flyers actually seemed okay, but I don't think we need a 5-mana 3/2 flyer. I don't like the Whelp very much. I feel like their deck is going to be able to get off to some pretty strong and aggressive starts too, and want to be able to, you know, maybe on the draw like an extra Siphoner on blocks isn't horrible. But what would I take out? What's better? What's worse on the draw? Maybe like a Charger? Something like that, maybe? I'm wondering if I should also flip the land count to have one more mountain. The only thing is, look how many 2-drops we have that we want to play that are black. That's the only reason I've got an extra swamp in here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 3 2-drops and 2 1-drops in red. And then also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 black ones. So I think I got to keep it like it is. Oh, 59? What did I not take out? Guess we'll leave in the Charger here. And then run it like that, I suppose. And then we'll see if we can get a good hand to start again. Yeah, I think that's okay. Being on the draw obviously makes this worse. He's going to have time to play a 3-drop and now a 4-drop before we even get the chance to attack with the Brazen Collector. But maybe we're able to draw like a Burst Lightning or something. Okay, so they don't have a 2 or a 3. So hopefully Brazen Collector is able to attack here. But gosh, this would have been a great start on the play, obviously. Let's hope there's nothing that can blank this Brazen Collector. That kind of does. So I could attack with this, which basically lets me trade a Brazen Collector for a Llanowar Elves. Is that good enough? And they would get a counter. Question is, they might not want to block. Considering I might have stab and stuff. They also have priority here too. It's a little bit of a bluff. Let's see if we can See if we can get it to work. All right, we got it to work. So now with the extra mana, I could offspring a charger, or I could play both of these cards here. I think I'm going to play the Ghoul and the Blood Witch here. Got away with a little bit of a, what's it called? A bluff attack there. Although, like I said, trading Brazen Collector for Llanowar Elves might not have been the worst thing. Now that does blank our board pretty well. So that's not great. Involuntary Employment. Could be interesting at some point. I don't think we want to use it yet. Although, loot starting with Llanowar Elves here. Next turn, I don't really want to happen. So I could attack with Brazen Collector, and then if they choose to block with loot, I could just exile loot as well. And if they don't block again, I could use the mana to exile loot. So loot can die here, and I think that's probably pretty good for us. So another little bit of a bluff. But I really needed that mana to attempt to get rid of loot here. Now let's see, do they have... I don't see a Snakeskin Veil. And I don't see the one from Dominaria. Like Gaia's Gift or whatever. So maybe there's something else that could give hexproof. But I think this is as good a time as any to try to get rid of loot here. They're going to sack it to the Ghoul, but at least loot is gone and they can't just like start pumping out 6-drops and things. So I think that's all right. The Involuntary Employment's obviously going to have to take their Ghoul. That's fine. Seems like they might not have anything better to do. Okay, yeah, I mean, we have to basically keep like chump attacking with this Brazen Collector to get all of this stuff, but they haven't blocked yet, right? But now they have a 3/3. And I can't really afford to attack and then just sack it to a Ghoul here. That doesn't seem great. So what if I just play like a Charger and a Goblin? I can't get the trigger off of it though. Gosh, this is going to be really, really risky. Just throwing away this Brazen Collector, but I get double trigger off of Goblin and Goblin Borders. And getting an extra Goblin off of this is going to be very, very important. Because you can continually send the Goblin in turn after turn. It will trigger the Blood Witch, and you can sack it to the Ghoul and trigger Raid to replenish it every single turn. So, as weird as this seems, and as bad as I feel this is going to go for me, I think it's pretty important to be able to do this right now. And if they eat it with the Hungry Ghoul, obviously not great, but we've gotten a lot of extra points of damage in here. So let's go ahead and play the Seer Slicer Goblin and the Goblin Borders, and then Involuntary Employment's going to do some seriously good work here this game. Hopefully there's not an enormous big creature, because the Employment has to target the Ghoul. Otherwise, if it targets something else... I mean, it's not enormous, but it is kind of big. If this targets anything else, the Ghoul's just going to eat it, and I won't get to steal it, and I won't get a treasure. So, I have pretty good attacks on my board right now. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and play the Involuntary Employment next turn on the Hungry Ghoul. because then I could also sack it to my own Hungry Ghoul. I'll have to make sure I sack the correct one. I think they've got some sort of bite or fight spell here that they're debating using. They keep targeting. Oh, God. Okay, well, involuntary employment is going to force them to sacrifice Galta here. What if I did it here, though? No, I can't leave them with the Galta, right? Yeah, so they're going to sacrifice it to the Hungry Ghoul. But I think that's okay. I don't get the treasure, though, so that makes it worse. But I got to get rid of this thing here. So we'll let the Hungry Ghoul eat it, and then I can go ahead and attack with the Goblin Borders. Would I want to attack with anything else is the question mark. The only reason they hesitated there. Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in. I had it for a while. I was waiting to use it on the Ghoul. Yeah, it's not necessarily GG. I understand why you said it though. Don't worry. It's a really tough spot to be put in. Um, but yeah, you're right. It's I still have interesting attack decisions here. I mean, I could like start throwing away my creatures, but like that also doesn't seem great. Um, I'm gonna make a goblin for free, so if he eats this one, it doesn't. It just pushes an extra 4 damage, which is good. So let's attack with these two. Okay, so they do choose to trade. Get that extra trigger, get that 1/1. And let's see if there's like another Galta off the top or something. I mean, I think your pool does have 2. Yeah, there is 2 Galtas there. 3 Needletooth packs, Affectionate Indrik, 2 Elfsworn Giants, Grizzled Outriders. There's a lot of good stuff you could draw. And you did force my hand as far as the, what's it called? The involuntary employment here. I think this is a pretty easy block with Brazen Collector if they do choose to attack here. Maybe they've got some sort of combat trick, but I'd be willing to trade a combat trick for a Brazen Collector at this point in the game. I think they're also just trying to get a food here to try to survive a little bit longer. But the first strike will prevent the food from happening if you don't see that this has first strike. So let's attack, or let's block over here. Here comes a combat trick. Okay, and it does trample effectively, so you will get 2 foods now. That's pretty big game, to be honest. I mean, I do get to attack with a lot of creatures, but 2 foods is pretty good. Plus, this thing could potentially keep making foods. 3 or less. Truffle Snout, unfortunately, doesn't work for that. I think I might actually just double Steam Path Charger here because it can trade with this. I don't want this thing hitting me over and over and over again. Especially with 2 foods, or like already 2 foods. They're kind of at like 17 life right now. I could also play Teapot Slinger and trade that off, but like, I think I'm gonna do this. No, let's attack first. Why not? Sure. I mean, I can't like lethal or anything, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, not quite lethal here. That's fine. And then I'll do this just so I can trade with the Truffle Snout as a 2-1. Don't want more foods. I am at 17. That's a high life total, but like I said, there's a Galto in that pool, and a Galto could change this very quickly. Okay, no attacks. And what is the follow-up here? Down goes Blood Witch. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of good targets over here, but Blood Witch is a pretty decent one to get rid of. And the last card is a final removal spell, maybe? So they're at 9 life, effectively. Krenko. Whoa. Okay. That's something. Let's attack with the Charger. And then play Krenko. And Krenko just says, you have 1 turn to try to win the game here. Or try to draw removal, I guess. Deal 1 damage to you. Play Krenko. And we'll see. Okay, go to 8. Go to your turn. Land, and what else? Port of Carfel can be used, but you'd have to tap the Sentinel and the Truffle Snout. No, okay. Let's try to steal the Truffle Snout here. There we go. I think that should probably do it. Comes back tapped, but sure. And there we go. Wow. GG's SpaghettiMitch. Was a tough spot with the double employment there. Tough to come back. I kept a sketchy hand in game 1. You punished me for it. And in game 2, game 2 and 3, I drew some of the better cards that my deck has. So, not too bad. We'll take it. Thanks for the matches. We'll take that win. Sorry to SpaghettiMitch for having to be the one that eliminated you, but at least you got to see it happen here on YouTube. You know, we move up to 13th place with that win. Didn't move much from 15 to 13, but one more would put us at 16 and 7, which would move us up into 9th place. So, I mean, there's still some room to go. We got 3 more matches left this week. Our opponent match win tiebreaker is really, really hurting us at this point. We've got 47.25, and everybody else here from 8 to 18 has got theirs sitting above 50, except for a couple who are above 47 for sure, 48. So it's going to be tough. We really have to make sure we can get up there. I think 21 and 9 is probably the record we have to shoot for to secure a top 8 spot. You know, it's going to be tough to get there. Like I've mentioned each video, we just got to take it day by day, match by match, and do the best we can to win each match that we're presented. So that will do it for match number 22 here today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow for match 23.